With John McMullen, I'm Jody McDonald. We are your Mac Birds 365 guys as we count down to the Super Bowl. It is a football Friday. Unfortunately, football Sunday is going to entail dodgeball games. Johnny Mac, you got the.
By the way, Saquon Barkley, tremendous dodgeball player. Saw a video of him. He was like Patches O'Houlihan in his prime for you dodgeball fans. The
Yeah, that's
movie.
fun. Is that the movie reference?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. I was flipping through the channels. I saw that the other day. Couldn't change it fast enough. But yeah, they're gonna have all these goofy competitions, and there's got to be something else, NBA or something to watch on. I'm not going to be.
Yeah, the Pro Bowl games are not very exciting to me. I got to be honest.
Not even a game anymore. It's just a series of competition. So even less exciting than what it used to be, and it wasn't exciting before. And oh, by the way, yeah, no Philadelphia Eagles will be in attendance because they're kind of going to be busy. And so many guys make it and alternates and what. They're not showing up anyway because they're kind of busy playing the Super Bowl, which is much more important. Yeah, it's a football Friday, but it's not really because we're not leading into anything this weekend. We are leading to the big game. Yesterday, Johnny Mac, you caught it on social media while we were on the air. Julian Love of the Giants on Good Morning Football, which is on against us on the NFL Network, saying Nick Sirianni's doing a good job just staying out of the way. That you or I could coach the Philadelphia Eagles because they're that good a football team. While I'm not happy about what Julian Love said, I think one of the things that gets understated, which is the same thing with Micah Parsons. When he says, they both said similar things about the Eagles as a team being that good that hurts MVP. Well, maybe not because they're that good. Sirianni being a good, well, maybe not because the team's that good. We do realize that it's a compliment that he's paying to the team, right? That the
Well,
team
that's
is
what
so
I said.
good.
Why do just everybody race? Julian Love said the Eagles were so good, the talent was so good. Why don't people focus on that?
That's
Now,
my
I
point.
disagree with Julian Love and the coach. You know, I used to have this discussion with Bill Jackson with people in the NBA, number one, who always had the best roster because he was able, his time with Michael Jordan, then he got the big reputation, then he got to cherry pick and he went to the best team and he wants a bunch more titles. Now, if you were telling me in X's, and it's different, obviously, football coaching, we both agree is more important. But if you wanted me to go to an X's and O's coach who's going to draw up a game-winning play, I'm not taking Phil Jackson. But if you want somebody to manage egos and personalities, I'm taking Phil Jackson. There's a lot of things to coaching. And not everybody can do what Nick Sirianni has done with this team. But yeah, at the end of the day, Julian Love complimented the talent of the Eagles. Not just complimented, really put it over in pro wrestling terms. So yeah, people kind of miss that part of it.
They just cruise right. How dare they disrespect of Nick Sirianni? Well, yeah, there's a little disrespect in there, but you realize he's also saying the team is that good. So here's how I would look at it. If I were a Giant fans probably go, he's stuck into Sirianni, good to them. But you can say the exact same flip thing. Well, wait a minute. Aren't you saying the Eagles are that much better than us?
And they
Didn't
are.
we just get our rear ends kicked by the Eagles by 30-something points? You move right past that part, right? Yeah. They don't acknowledge that. It's taking a shot.
Well, Micah Parsons got in trouble for the same thing. He was talking about how good
Lane Johnson.
Yeah. And Cowboys fans got upset by him. It's funny because those old school rivalries, in a lot of ways, it is disappointing because there were some real rivalries and dislike. And I said it. I think I said it Giants week. The Giants love the Eagles and vice versa. Sirianni's so close to Brian Daboll, and that was a big. He gives Brian Daboll credit for giving him his first position coach job, and he was really important piece of Nick Sirianni's career. Loves the guy. Jalen Hurts loves him from their time together at Alabama. On and on and on. That you see the respect of Jason Kelsey and Dexter Lawrence, and it goes, both ways back and forth. It's not, I compared it again. I go back to the NBA. You had, the old school days, which were up to, the Sixers and Celtics for older Philadelphia fans. Those two teams hated each other. You have the famous Julius Erving punching Larry Bird, strangling him. And then you went forward in the NBA, and it was Magic Johnson giving Isaiah Thomas a kiss at midcourt before the start of the NBA Finals, kiss on the cheek. That's where you are in the NFL. Everybody's jersey swapping. Everybody loves everybody. All the Alabama guys love the Alabama guys. I talked about A.J. Brown and Willie Gay. They're really close. Fans have trouble with that. They have trouble with that.
Well, one I think they will probably accept is the fact that Jason Kelsey is going to have a hug for a guy in Kansas City Red in the game on Sunday, win, lose, or draw at the end. He'll probably cut him some slack since it is actually his brother, which, again, doing some research for the show today on the MVP stuff and the fact that I was surprised that quarterbacks don't win it as often as they do. They win it more than 50% of the time, but I thought it'd be more like 70. It's only 55. John McMullen named the last tight end to win the MVP in the Super Bowl.
Tight end.
It is a trick question because the tight end has never won the Super Bowl in the history.
I was thinking, there's some big, great, the first tight end performance I think about in the postseason is Kellen Winslow Sr. against the Dolphins, but obviously that's not the Super Bowl. He would have been the MVP for that game.
That day surely was the MVP.
It doesn't surprise me. You would think somewhere along the line, maybe Gronk or somebody like that would have won one, but
never happened. And the third choice after Holmes, after Hurts, Mahomes, the third choice is
Kelsey.
Mr. Kelsey of Kansas City. And I will tell you that tight ends are not usually third. Yeah, Gronk might have been the third choice one of those years when the Patriots were in there, but it has never happened before in the history of the National Football League. So that's a key element of this game. The Eagles are going to have to be able to stop him. We brought it up, Mike Gill, earlier. Eagles in the middle against him. You're right, because he's Kelsey. Not because the Eagles are weak there or it's a hole in the Eagles defense. No, there's just no team in the National Football League that you would say, wow, they match up well against Kelsey. They can keep him in check. If the Eagles can, who can? Who is better suited to stop a tight end than the Philadelphia Eagles in the NFL this year?
Nobody. Maybe San Francisco, you just saw it. It's the same thing with San Francisco. Like if San Francisco can't stop the Eagles, who can? That's the best defense, right? Steve Spagnuolo. The Chiefs have some good players, but I don't like their chances. Yeah, sometimes you got to tip your cap to the other team and say, oh, Travis Kelce's really good.
Really good.
Oh, Chris Jones is really good. Oh, Patrick Mahomes is really good. Ed Kratz and I did our top 15 players in the Super Bowl. I wanted to go 1, 2, 3 Chiefs. I only went 1, 2, and I put I think I put Lane ahead of Travis.
Oh,
but
really?
You could have went 1, 2, 3.
You had Chris Jones number 2?
Yeah, Chris Jones is oof. I mean, that guy is just he's had a tremendous year. But people are going to get upset by that. But the Chiefs are very top heavy. Like their superstar players are phenomenal, but then it falls off. It falls off dramatically. Whereas the Eagles are just good everywhere. Good. So they have the far deeper team. But if you're honest with yourself, look, Patrick Mahomes is Patrick Mahomes. Doesn't mean Jalen Hurts isn't good, but, Patrick Mahomes. Javon Hargrave, tremendous year. He's not Chris Jones. Dallas Goedert, nobody loves Dallas Goedert more than me. He's not Travis Kelce. It's not an insult when you say these things. But then as you go down the roster, the Eagles take over pretty quickly.
Agreed. The balance of the total rosters is not in place. The Eagles certainly have an advantage, and that's probably a big reason why they're a 1.5 to 2 point favorite in this game. All right, one thing away from the Super Bowl, but kind of Eagle related. I didn't want to get your take on. Saw this morning. Was pretty surprised by it. Ex-Eagle player and coach Deuce Staley leaving Detroit to join Frank Reich's staff in Carolina. And I guess Deuce and Frank have a pretty good relationship, and that's the reason that he's leaving. I thought he was doing quite well in Detroit, thank you very much, with the improved Lions and playing right up until the last week of the season, and could have made the playoffs after that. He got off to that horrendous start, and they had one of the best offenses in the National Football League for the year, and that's Deuce's purview. I watched Hard Knocks. I always get sucked into Hard Knocks every single August, and his relationship with Aaron Glenn, the defensive coordinator, that they look like brothers to me. You get any backstory? You hear anything around the league as to why Deuce would be leaving Detroit to go to Carolina? That really did surprise me when I read that this morning.
Yeah, I think it has to do really with his personal life. I mean, Deuce is from South Carolina, and his mother is dealing with some health issues, so he wanted to be closer to home. And Frank happened to get the Carolina job, and obviously those two are close. So he's given an opportunity. In Detroit, to their credit, let him out of his deal. I guess he had another year left on his contract. So it was mainly personal, not that he had a balling out with Detroit. Detroit was very happy with him. He was very happy with Detroit, but he just wanted to be closer to his mother.
All right, well, then that makes a lot of sense, because I thought he had a damn successful year with the Lions. My expectations were they were going to stink again, even though they were entertaining on Hard Knocks and almost make you root for them. I thought they were going to have a poor season, and sure enough, they got off to that lousy start. And I was like, yeah, good. Don't fall for the Hard Knocks thing again, Jody Mack. But damn, they played well in the second half of the season. Deuce, good dude. So rooting for him down in Carolina. All right, he's Johnny Mack. I'm Jody Mack. You got Mac and Mack here on Birds 365. Up next, Dave Zangaro, NBC Sports Philly, does a great job for that outlet, breaking down the Birds. He's going to do it for us here on Birds 365.